YouTube! ¿Qué pasa? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video on my channel. Now today we're going to be talking about chapter 12 of the story mode. Now, why am I talking specifically about chapter 12 again? So, chapter 11 is basically the last or the second shadow stage you're going to be facing, right? So that the final stage of chapter 11 is basically where you fight against Baruka. And in case you're struggling against that, I'm going to link down below the video in the video description where I've shown my strategy on how to beat him and where I've shown how to beat him, even though I was under leveled, right? And that's just for the guys out there that are struggling. But anyways, today Chapter 12. Chapter 12 is actually another nasty sticking point, and not for without a reason, because in chapter 12 you actually have to battle, where is it? You have to battle this guy. And this guy, he has a very, very annoying skill. He basically summons like an ice tornado, and it basically just keeps swirling around, and every time you try and move in to attack him, yeah, he basically just follows you everywhere, which is very annoying. Plus, if you are under leveled, this chapter can be quite challenging. However, I have beaten this chapter actually with being almost 28k under leveled, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Basically, I'm going to tell you the setup I've chosen. Now, first of all, you got to identify what is the main weakness or the common weakness in chapter 12. So if you just look at the different stages, every single one of them has fire weakness. So you want to get your game straight up and choose at least from your hunters with fire affiliation. So we have on the one side Choi Jong-in, if I'm pronouncing that name right. And in my case, I also have Emma Laurent. Now, I was fortunate enough to get 2-in-1 copies today in 1x10 summon, which was actually crazy. So if I was to do this chapter again, I would actually use this lineup, and I would actually keep my Chai Hae-in as my first character in this lineup. So I would make sure to have at least 2 fire units, 2 fire hunters in my formation, right? That's the first thing you want to making sure that you have them there. Next up, you have to make sure, now you have to look at Jin Woo. He is your main character, right? And he's going to be dealing the main amount of damage. Now, if you have the volcanic, what's it called? The volcanic, yeah, there is where is the name of it, bro? Where is the name of it? Let's go there. Now, that's it. So if you have the Vulcan's Rage, this is actually the best weapon you could actually use for this stage. Now, this weapon basically applies a shield equal to 5% of user's attack. Each time the user's basic or core attack hits, it applies the concentration effect duration 10 seconds. Now, what is the concentration? Basically, when the duration ends or the effect is removed, Vulcan's Blessing explodes and deals damage equal to 300% of the user's attack, stacking up to 30 times. When it explodes, it deals additional 6% damage per instance of concentration. Now, if you have many more stacks, obviously it's going to deal much more damage. When Vulcan's Blessing explodes, it removes all concentration effects, duration infinite. It's basically the weapon for that chapter, like literally the weapon made for that chapter. Now, there is also other alternatives, right? In case you don't have this one, you can also use the Dragon Scale Broadsword. I kind of find it a bit sluggish and a bit slow, but yeah, that's just personal preference. Another very, very good option is the Orb of Avarice, which is actually the second best option you can use for this stage, because it increases the damage of Purgatory by 50% and increases the MP consumption by 10%. It is actually a very good weapon to use for that stage. If you have a few more copies of that weapon, you can actually increase its usefulness even more. Now, that's the first thing. You want to make sure you have at least 1 or 2 fire weapons equipped to Jin Woo. That's the second thing. Now, the first thing regarding him. Second thing, you want to make sure you're using skills where you have, if you have, now it's very crucial that you try and get some of these, that you have the skill equipped where you have the corresponding fire rune, because that will be actually the game changer. Now, if you have the vertical arts skill and you have the fire rune, you're basically almost guaranteed to win this actually easily, because this skill is actually so good. Now, if you look at this skill, can I see the preview? No, I have to equip it, right? Or no, wait, I think I can see it here. So if I go there, right, there it is. Boom. Let's look at the preview quickly. So what does it do? It basically jumps back and he does like an X cross sort of like attack to the front, right? Now, this is especially useful once if you're fighting a crowd which is standing nearby. You can actually hit multiple targets with this. Secondly, if you're fighting the ice elf dude, whatever his name is, it's not Baruka I'm talking about, by the way. Don't mix these two up, right? So if you're fighting him and he's about to launch his ice tornado, you just drop the vertical art skill, jump back, do your attack, and then keep your distance. Now the key, literally the key when you're fighting him, right? Let me quickly show you, right? So when you're in there, right? Boom. I'm currently on chapter 13, by the way. When you're in there, right, and you're in chapter 12, and you're fighting him, right, the ice dude, right, you want to make sure, soon as he starts spawning this ice tornado, keep your distance. Don't try to move in order to attack. Try to keep your distance, and you have two choices. You either walk around with your distance, try and summon your shadows to keep the guy busy, and then you yourself walk off and try to keep your distance in order to avoid the ice tornado. That's the first thing you could do. Second thing, try to get your timings for the extreme evasion right, and try to evade the tornado. That way you'll be able to trigger this shadow sneak skill and be able to basically jump up right behind the ice dude, attack, and then move off again. That's basically the strategy you want to be following in this stage. And that's basically the strategy you want to be following on any stage where you fight him. So on this one, you don't fight him. I believe you fight him once more. Let's quickly have a look at it. There you also don't. This one is, yeah, here is another one where you fight him, an earlier one. Here again, none. And here is also none, and on the first one also none. So basically, this is actually the most challenging one, right? Which one is this? How many stages are there? Including the story one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the 9th stage is actually the most challenging one. Once you have like adjusted to how the opponent plays, you're actually easily able to do this. If you follow these steps I'm showing you in this video, right? Make sure you equip fire runes, fire skills, everything fire, literally, and just burn that dude, literally. The last one is actually very easy. Yes, the power requirement is 108,000. However, you could actually clear this even if you're at 70k, because you're not fighting any boss. You're fighting only mobs, and these are actually pretty easy to beat. They can be annoying because they do attack sometimes like loads at a time. However, it shouldn't be too much of a challenge for anyone out there. Now, I hope this video was helpful this video was helpful for all those of you that are being stuck currently in chapter 12. I'm going to try and, sort of gather some strategy and some infos for every single chapter after I finish them myself, in order to share with you guys how I did it and what are the specific things I was looking out for, right? So in chapter 12, actually the key thing is, again, as I said, fire weapons, fire runes, fire hunters, literally. And the second key thing here is avoid that ice tornado, because if that hits you when you're attacking the ice elf, it basically shreds your life away, like literally very fast, and you're almost always gonna die if you do it like that, right? Anyways, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think about this video. As always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks for tuning in, take care of yourselves, until next time.